Hey everybody, here we are again, and it's a Muntons Connoisseurs Nut Brown Ale with a bit of a difference. Here to talk about it. Now, the Muntons Connoisseurs Nut Brown Ale is a kit and kilo, but I brewed it as an old malt kit by putting two kits in. One of the experimental brewings that I've been doing. Basically, I'm running out of kits to review, and I remember years ago a nut brown ale. It was fantastic. It was a Samuel Smith's, I think, in a bottle. It was nutty. It was good. I've brewed this a couple of times, at least twice, more than twice. I think I've reviewed it twice. Once using Nutella. I put it in one of the cards at the bottom, at the end, and once just on its own. Yeah. So what came in the can? A lid that's difficult to get off. A packet of yeast that I didn't use, and the kit says don't bother using it. If you want a better experience, use the gold yeast, I think, and some instructions that I do remember reading. I think this is where it says use a better yeast. Not better, use different yeast. Why they don't supply the different yeast in with the can? Maybe keeping the price down, don't know. Can't be bothered looking. I used my SO4 yeast as usual. Reused it. We'll go straight into the facts and figures. Taking glasses on and off. So, the starting gravity was 1.056 at 17 degrees C. Thought it might have been a bit high. I was hoping for it to finish high. Final gravity was 1.020 at 18 degrees C. So that gave, it was still a bit of a high ABV of 4.8913%, but could have been a lot worse. If it had brewed down low, it would have been 5.5%, 6% maybe. Caught me. Fortunately it didn't. So price of the kits, they've gone up by £1 since I last bought them, I think about 4 years ago. They're £15.95 currently, and I used two of them, so that was £31.90. No need to add sugar. So price per pint was 79.75 pence. So still quite cheap. Let's give it a look at. So you can see you can get a head, but it doesn't hold a head. Don't think it even holds a cap. By the time you're finished, it's died off. I'm not even convinced it holds a ring, to be honest. Despite being an old malt kit, it's very dark. I think it's slightly darker than the others, or the previous one where it was just a single can kit. But it is, I don't know if you can see through that, crystal clear, just very dark, a deep purple colour. Shan't do the smoke on the water bit again. Old hat that. Should have thought of a different song, shouldn't I? Yeah, so we'll give it a sniff. It does smell of beer. Yeah, maltiness, a slight earthiness. Yeah, slight earthiness and maltiness, and a bit of maybe almost bread, almost maybe biscuit on the nose. Right, so let's dive in for the taste. Yeah, there's a slight chocolatiness up in front. Dying off into a sort of biscuit note. An almost creamy note. Yeah, the longer it lingers, sort of like a vague biscuity creamy note comes in. And going for the hops now. A little bit of earthiness just kicking in there. And it dies off. It dies off into a very, it's still a gentle bittering. Not a bad beer, but you may have noticed very little in the way of nutty flavour. Still wanting to try to find that nutty flavour. A nut brown ale, a proper nut brown ale. It's got a definite, yeah, nutty flavour. I've tried multiple failed experiments. I think the raw peanuts is probably one of the lows. I don't know if I've even filmed that one. That was a long time ago. And I just got a slick of oil on top. It brewed out alright, don't get me wrong. I wouldn't say it produced any flavour of peanuts or any sort of nut in it. I've tried Nutella, thought that might work. That were a faff. No. I've now tried doubling it up into an all malt kit, and it's still, the Muntons Connoisseurs is still the only one that says it's a nut brown ale. It's a brown ale, it's a dark brown ale, give it that. It's more like a Guinness look, and it's a brown ale flavour. Hint of nuttiness maybe, but it is only a hint, and you've got to go looking for it. Would I do that again? Don't get me wrong, mouthfeel's better, and the flavours are more, yeah, the flavours are more enhanced, and the mouthfeel is enhanced. That, I think it was a slightly thin mouthfeel the first time, and that is a pretty good mouthfeel. But it's twice the price. It was worth a stab. Will I do it again? No. Stars. 10 getting higher than a 3. Because it's right up there with price. And yeah, no, it's just mediocre. Right. Like, comment, subscribe. See you next time. Cheers. Bye.
Wake up